Hey, yo, YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Black Privilege. You know, there's a saying that goes, if you walk one step ahead of the crowd, you're a leader. You walk two steps ahead of the crowd, you're a madman. Well, goddamn it, we gonna get fucking crazy up in here. We gonna get really crazy up in here. Cause I've been thinking about all the bullshit that we've been going through as black people, and the number one problem that's we're facing, our scattered diaspora, or our surplus of free agents, rugged individualists, free thinkers, and what could we do to bring them under a communal web of disciplined behavior? How do we set up a fraternal organization to curtail the destructive behaviors of the individual black man? We need a morality. We need a code of morality, because ultimately morality is a tool of social cohesion. It's a means for a common unity, a community, and we don't have that right now. And there's no way to talk about morality without getting into the weeds of philosophy. And since I do want to elevate the discourse of this channel, I want to harken you back to the brother Nietzsche, who itemized that there's really just two forms of morality. Since all morality is subjective, there's really only two forms of morality. The morality of those who do what they can versus those who do what they want, aka the master and the slave moralities. Now, the white man has enjoyed a extended period of being a master because of his proclivities to war and his skills at exploiting technology for the sake of violent conflict resolution. Good on him. The master morality is it is what it is. So you can't really do much about it. But what about the slave morality? Those who do what they can. Well, a slave morality dictates that you work within the system to build up on your agency. And from then on, you gradually build your numbers up so that you could effect more influence. No better example of this is within the Jewish community. Now, Nietzsche had a reputation for being anti-Jewish, but he wasn't. He actually had a lot of respect for Jews because they lived under the Roman occupation and they thrived. Why? Because they kept their head down. They were smiling merchants. They did things on the down low. They hid their power level, as they say in the dark web. Black people, the reason why we fail is that we're not good enough slaves. That's right. We're not good enough slaves. We don't practice smiling face capitalism. We don't say yes, sir, no, sir. We don't utilize Uncle Tomness to its fullest extent. We don't surrender. We don't even know if we should surrender to the white power structure. We're just naturally antagonistic. Worse yet, the black community is scattered between different groups of subset of masters. The insecure brothers, the incels, and the MGTOWs, they're slaves to their insecurity. The productive brothers are slaves to their own ego. The self-destructive brothers are slaves to their libido, and the killers up in Chirac, well, they're slaves to their lizard brain. So it's always about the best drugs, the best pussy, the fastest car. That's what they're a slave to. We don't have a good master to share with the rest of our black followers, because the good master would give us a good code of morality, a good code of conformity, uniform justice, disciplined ass whoopings for the indigent. We don't have any of that. And let's not kid ourselves. There is power within the slave morality, because a good slave knows that if his numbers get big enough, he could overthrow the master eventually. But first, he has to hide his strength. He has to smile. He has to yowza boss a little bit. And then one day, the master's going to see that, oh my God, I'm surrounded by the slaves. Jews know this. Muslims know that. Muslims know that they're only practicing a slave morality until they could get 50 million. Once you get 50 million Muslims in America, you're going to start to see some of this American exceptionalism, the Constitution, start to be forsaken. But that's another subject. My thing is, we as African Americans are a bunch of free agents like gazelles. And you know what happens to a gazelle that strays away from the pack? He gets ripped apart by hyenas. And although you might think that you are alpha enough to take on any slave, what is an alpha versus a pack of slaves? What is an alpha versus a pack of masters? He's dead meat. We're all dead meat. So, to the black community, I'd like to ask y'all, who is your master? Are you a slave to the white power structure? You're an Uncle Tom. Are you a slave to your insecurities? Are you an incel or a MGTOW? Are you a slave to your ego? Are you an alpha male? Are you a slave to your lizard brain? Are you an alpha male primitive? See, I won't judge your master. I don't judge Uncle Tom's. I don't judge those who are slaves to the anointed, who I believe is the best pathway. I will not judge your master as long as he could provide the tools to become the master. I will not judge your master, whatever it is, if you could provide your community with healthy children. Is your drinking and your whoremongering providing healthy children to the community? Is your alpha behavior providing healthy children to your community? I hope so. But either way, we have to find a way to make the individual man surrender to something that would entice him to be in a community in the first place. Now, I choose children. I choose rational self-interest. I choose productivity and the survivability of the individual to entice the individual man to join the collective. Because ultimately, that's what we have to do. We have to entice them to join us. We have to be fruitful and multiply sexually and fraternally. So, there you have it. We're not good enough slaves, because slaves stick together under a banner of suffering and they do not judge other slaves. Slaves sit and they plot against the masters. Slaves know how to use deception, smile, be pleasant, be charismatic, be charming, knowing full well that one day you as a slave are going to make decisions. We're not good enough slaves. We're individuals. We're free spirits. That's all I wanted to say. Sorry if I got on a rant, but it's just some food for thought. One more thing. To those of you who have been harking upon our slavish devotion to the Most High, God, just remember, you can't kill God. I will never rock with atheists, because atheists, you can't kill God. You could only replace God with perfection. Perfect lust, perfect avarice, perfect greed, perfect cynicism, perfect wrath, perfect gluttony. You can only replace God with perfection. And before you tell me not to have my master, you're going to have to tell me why you follow yours. It's your boy Black Privilege signing out.